Oh boy, this is kind of a Kevin Riley take on a Korean dish. Really popular right now is cheese dakgalbi. Cheese dakgalbi is it's an old Korean dish they've added cheese to. And last week I was out with one of my customers, tour customer, and we saw this cheese dakgalbi, but with cushy, which is things that food on sticks that you ate with it, and it's of cheese, melted cheese, and the spicy Korean chili paste, which we call gochujang. And I thought, wow, wouldn't that be something in a sandwich? So I played around with it, and what I've come up with is a grilled cheese dakgalbi sandwich, and it's got lots of cheese in there. Some pork and onions done up in gochujang, which is the Korean chili paste, and let's have a bite of this. Oh yeah, fantastic. Now, I do make it optional to add extra gochujang, spread it on the bread. I highly recommend it. It depends if if you find it a little too spicy. I don't think it's that spicy, but some people might. Then you might want to just go with the main recipe, but I would go for the optional spreading gochujang on the inside of the bread. Just kicks that flavor right up there. All right, let's go to the kitchen and make some grilled cheese dakgalbi sandwiches right now. So the first thing we want to do when we're making our grilled cheese dakgalbi sandwiches is ahead of time marinate the meat and the onion. So you can do this an hour before or in the morning before, the day before. Actually, the longer it marinates, the better. So first of all, what we have here, I have here 1 pound or 450 grams of thinly sliced pork. This is like pork from thigh, we call it momo. And then what I've done is I've just kind of cut it up into smaller pieces like that. It usually comes in a bigger piece like this. So what I've done is just kind of cut it down a bit in size. So it'll just be smaller pieces, easier to marinate, easier to spread throughout the sandwich. Here is 1 onion that has been quartered and thinly sliced. And then what we've got here, this is the Korean, there's a spicy Korean chili paste. And it's called gochujang. Now gochujang comes in a little jar like this. It might be different from this one, depending on the company that makes it. But you'll be able to find it in the Asian section of your supermarket or any Asian supermarket, places like that. It's very popular with Korean cooking. Find out more about it. Check out our Focus on Ingredients videos on our Patreon feed, where we talk about gochujang and other ingredients that we're focusing on. So I've got a 1/4 cup of gochujang in there. I like a lot of gochujang. And I've got 2 cloves of garlic crushed. So what we're going to do is we're going to mix up the gochujang and the garlic. Now notice this, I'm not using my usual white melamine bowl because this gochujang will just totally discolor that. So what I want to do is I want to use either a steel bowl or a glass bowl, something that doesn't discolor. And then we're going to get all this beautiful, delicious gochujang in here. All right, now we've got that in the bowl. I'm going to lick this clean because otherwise this is going to be ruined in no time, discolored. The gochujang, nice and spicy. All right, let's get 2 cloves of garlic in there. And all I'm going to do is just use a fork here because, again, something metal, and blend that in a bit. All right, now I toss in the meat. Now all I want to do is kind of toss it around, get that gochujang spread out throughout the meat. Well, look at that, it's pretty spread out. So now I'm going to add in the onions and do the same thing with the onions. I just want to get everything coated with gochujang and of course that garlic. And then what I'm going to do with this, once I get this all mixed up nicely, is going to cover it and put it in the fridge and just let it marinate. I say try for an hour at least, but you know, longer is fine. 4, 5, 6 hours, 8 hours. Best thing I say is make this in the morning and then just let it sit and marinate all day. All right, yeah, gonna get that in there. All right, let's come back. A couple of hours, we'll start making our sandwiches. See you then. Right, that has been marinating now for a couple of hours. It's looking fantastic. What we're gonna do now is we need to cook up the meat and the onion. What I have here is I have 1 tablespoon of olive oil. I have a half a cup of mayonnaise, that's going on our bread. I have here 1 pound or 450 grams of Gouda cheese, grated. It could be Gouda or mozzarella, something soft, not too strong a flavor, a nice mild cheese. And then here I have 8 slices of bread. Now I use all kinds of different bread. This time I'm using a regular, it's kind of a semi-white bread. I'm not sure what it is called. I think this is the hotel bread they call it here. I just picked this up at one of our bakeries. It's got a good smell to it, so I'm like, yeah, that's going to make a really good sandwich. I don't want anything too strong. I want the flavor, basically the cheese and the Kalbi here. So just a regular mild bread will do, and it's kind of soft, perfect. All right, so what we're going to do now is going to put the oil into the large frying pan here. And we're going to bring that up on medium heat. And then we're going to put the meat and the onion in here. And we're going to cook this for about 10 minutes. So I'm going to cook it, stirring occasionally. And as it's cooking, first we're going to get it started here. And then once it starts cooking, I'm going to bring the lid on. Put the lid on here. Just make sure we get it really well cooked in through all the meat. And then just every once in a while, lift off the lid, give it a little stir, get a little turn. I'm going to do that for about 10 minutes until our meat is cooked and our onions are cooked. All right, see you in about 10 minutes. Right, that's been cooking for a little under 10 minutes now with the lid on. And I'll just take the lid off because I'm going to let it cook the rest of the time now with the lid off, so we can get rid of some of the juices from the onions and stuff in there. We want to get rid of some of that extra liquid in there. So let's go let that cook off a little bit. So while it's happening, let's get our bread ready. So we just lay out our slices here. All right. Now, before we put the cheese on, there's an optional challenge. Now, this may not be for everybody, but if you want extra spice, another 2 tablespoons of gochujang Korean chili paste, and just kind of skiff that across there. Oh, look at it. Doesn't that look great? Just beautiful color on there. All right, there we go. Now, you can take the cheese and just divide it up amongst all 8 slices of bread. Just kind of spread that nicely across there. And there we go. We've got our cheese distributed amongst all 8 pieces of bread, pretty well evenly to a point. Now, while that's been happening, that meat and onion has been cooking total now just a little over 10 minutes. And look at that, we cooked off that extra liquid. That is looking absolutely perfect. So we turn that heat off. Now what we want to do is we want to divvy this up just amongst 4 of the pieces of bread. So, oops, some on this piece. All right, we've got that basically evenly divvied up amongst them. So now I'm going to take the cheese only side and flip that up on top here. Push that down a bit. Let's do the same with each one. End up with a little bit of cheese on the counter. That's okay, we can look that up afterwards. Okay, now what I want to do is I'm going to use about half of this mayonnaise and spread it across here. Now you could use butter, softened butter if you want. Mayonnaise also works very nice. It really browns nicely. Mayonnaise actually has a bit of a higher smoking point than butter. Now I use butter when I'm doing just a regular grilled cheese because I like the taste. But here, you know, we're going to be overpowered by all the gochujang and everything that it's not really going to make a difference. So let's get that mayonnaise is easy to spread. Okay, now we want to save the other half of the mayonnaise for, well, the other side of the bread. We're only going to be able to cook 2 at a time, so we have 2 in here. I want to bring this back up to medium heat. Now you could wipe the pan out if you want, but hey, that's just more flavor in there, so why not? Medium heat, and 2 of these are going in. You want to put them in mayonnaise side down. There's 1. Oh, these big pieces of bread are barely going to fit. All right, there we go. Now give them a good squish down. And now I'm going to let that cook for about 4 minutes. 4 minutes, 4.5 minutes. I just want it to brown the side nicely and the cheese to start melting. Now it doesn't have to be all melted because we're going to flip these over. And at that point, we can put the lid on to help melt it even more. Now notice I'm not putting the mayonnaise on here yet. I'll do that just before I flip them. All right, let's see you back here in about 4.5 minutes. All right, those will be cooking for a little over 4 minutes. So let's flip them over. Before we flip them over, let's not forget to put the mayonnaise on. So when I just quickly skiff some mayonnaise across there. Okay, now we flip them over. Yeah, don't forget that. Yeah, that cheese already started to melt. Oh yeah, nice browning there. Look at that. And in we go. Okay, so now I'm going to let that cook for another 4 to 5 minutes. But for this time, I'm putting the lid on top. So that's going to make sure that everything, the heat gets in there and all that cheese gets nicely melted. Mwah. All right, see you back here in 4 to 5 minutes. That's been cooking just a little over another 4 minutes. So let's have a look. Take that lid off there. That is looking good. So get that out of there. Have a look underneath. It's nicely browned. Perfect. The cheese is melted inside there. Okay, bring those out here. Now, these are massive. This is some really big bread this time. So I'm just gonna cut this in half. Oh, look at that. So, if you can see inside there, look at that. There's the dakgalbi. The cheese is melted through there. Absolutely fantastic. Oh, that's hot too. Let's get those onto a plate. And then we can start. The next batch is going to be going in right now. So look forward to this. Make yourself a delicious bunch of grilled cheese dakgalbi sandwiches. Enjoy those. They are fantastic. Now, if you go to the link appearing on the screen and also clickable in this video's description, you can download and print out this recipe from the Sandwich and Burger and Wrap Recipes booklet on Kuma's Kitchen's Patreon page. Just click the featured tag called Recipes. Not yet a patron of Kuma's Kitchen? Well, please consider becoming one. For as little as $3 a month, you get access to all our recipe booklets and a bunch of videos not published anywhere else, including our popular This is Japan series, focused on ingredients, and many more. Also, you'll be supporting the creation of many more Kuma's Kitchen recipe videos. Now go, print out the recipe, and enjoy grilled cheese Dakota beef sandwiches and make cooking fun again with Kuma's Kitchen.